So it's like day 2 of since I did a water change. I don't know, let me see. Yeah, it's like been a couple of days since I've done a water change on these guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a water change on them. This guy here, I don't know what I was thinking. I only put 1 teaspoon of fertilizer in the water here, and I was supposed to get 5. So this guy got all wilted up pretty bad. This guy here is growing a new air root. This guy's doing okay. So I don't know if this guy's going to come back or not. I feel like we're getting air coming out of this again, and I had it hot last night, so it was kind of scorcho. But yeah, I just wanted to update you guys. I'm doing more water change outs on this. Make sure I keep them safe. So I added some new water to this. Did a little bit of a water change out. I took the 5-gallon tote of water out, put a 5-gallon tote of water back in, used some water conditioner. One thing that I noticed about this plant right here is not only did I add the wrong amount of nutrients, I added 1 teaspoon instead of 5, but these top roots were like super dry. It was about this far out of the water because the roots had gotten so long. I thought, well, if the tap root is in the water, it's good. But I forgot about the part of the Kratky method is that these top roots need to stay moist, which is really freaking tricky to keep the air roots moist and not submerged. But what I'm thinking is it's just like in college class that the plant needs to stay above the water and the root needs to stay in the water. So I dropped them down just a little bit. And again, this is all just tests. I've never done this before, so thanks for following. Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Aquaponics World. And today I am going to be doing a water change out. Just going to do a quarter water change out and scrub off the fish tank. Change out the water on this. You might have noticed I took out the goldfish, and we still have 2 or 3. But I am going to go ahead and say that having a filterless, bubblerless, electric-free tank is just over my head right now. I mean, I did the planted thing and tried the shrimp thing, lost all the shrimp, lost a fish. So, yeah, I did keep them alive for about a week in there. They did survive. I ended up having to do water change outs every day. So the replacement parts for my filter still haven't shown up. Apparently the company that I bought it from for $120 just ripped me off. Is what it is. I'm not too savvy on buying things on the internet. They don't sell the replacement parts for the pump at PetSmart. They don't even sell them on the PetSmart website. So I got them again from Amazon. Hopefully I'll get those soon. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to close the out and open up this valve down here and pump some water out my window. And I'm just going to empty out about a quarter of the tank and scrub it all off and replace the water. I'm just going to wait to get the new filters to do that again. I guess I will take some of this water here and fill up a little, put a little water in a tote so that I can clean off the intake strainer at least. I don't really feel like taking apart the pump again today. I've done that every week for the past couple of months now. But yeah, that should be just about enough water right there to clean the intake strainer. And I am not quite ready to use this for the plants just yet because I'm using the water conditioner again, but we'll get there. Yeah, so this is the way you do a normal water change out. It's been a long time since I've done just a normal water change out. I'm feeling lazy today, so that's all I'm going to be doing today is a quarter water change out. So that's about a quarter of the water that I've taken out right there. So I'm just going to shut this off, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off the intake valve, and that way I can disconnect the intake strainer right here without the fish getting sucked up in there. And I'm gonna have to go ahead and move this out of the way here. So go ahead and move this out of the way, and then I will go ahead and do that. All right, got that out of the way. So now I'm just gonna take the lid off here, and I'm gonna slide this up a little bit, and I'm gonna hold on to the pipe and push down on the strainer. And I've already kind of broken this thing because these plastic things don't want to sit on there right. Now I'm just going to take this out, and I am going to separate it. Comes apart like that, and I'm just going to rinse out all the stuff out of the intake strainer real quick, best that I can, and then I will put that back. And this is a once a week thing that you gotta do. Gotta do a water change out. So once you have that all cleaned out the best you can, and you just reattach that to the pipe and slide that down, slide the pipe down inside of there, and then push that up against that wall right there. And then you can go ahead and turn everything back on. So in and out. And next thing to do is just to kind of scrub underneath it. And you can raise it up just a little bit, just to scrub underneath it. Lower it back down and just scrub all the glass. So once a week, you just want to take your hand and run it across your tank, scrubbing everything off, especially these bubblers. Scrub off the hoses. You know, just rub your fingers across them. Doesn't take much effort to do it. And you know, once a month you take apart your filter, and usually you can just rinse out your filters and put them right back in. You don't need to throw them away because they have beneficial bacteria. I think it's every 3 months or so you change out the carbon filter, and then once a year you replace all the filters. And once you've scrubbed off all the glass, it's just time to add some clean water back in. If you're growing organic food out of your aquaponics system, you want to have some tap water sitting out for about a week before you put it in, because it does have chlorine in the water straight out of the tap, and the fish don't like the chlorine. But if you're not doing organic, like you're not growing any food or anything like that with your aquaponics system, then you can use water conditioner. It'll get the chlorine out in about 5 minutes. We're just going to close the end and open up this valve here, and that will suck the water from the reservoir tank here and put it back into the fish tank. So while you're watching the level of water in the fish tank, making sure you don't overflow your tank, Because if you have a lot of water in here, you'll be able to overflow your tank real easy. You just don't keep an eye on it, and it'll just keep pumping. But once you you don't want to suck in any air in here either. So once you get down to the bottom of this tank, you got to shut it off. But it looks like we're gonna have just about enough to fill her up, and that's about full. So we'll just shut that off right there and reopen the end. And that's that. So that's a once a week thing you got to do to maintain your fish tank. Once a month you got to take this apart and clean the filters. And again, you don't throw your filters away. You just wash them in some chlorine free water and put them right back in, because they do have beneficial bacteria. So to do the water change out for this guy is real easy. You're just gonna have to add some fertilizer. Right now we're just doing a Kratky hydroponic system. This is a new style of Kratky where I'm not using any cups or any soil, but basically right now it's just a hydroponic Kratky system because I have been using the water conditioner in the fish tank again, so I can't use the fish water for fertilizer. But this is some good fertilizer here. Helps if you have them separated so that you can give them the right amount of the right type of nutrient at the right type of at the right time in their growth cycle. And you want to get one of these. You know, make sure you're looking at not tablespoons but teaspoons. Big difference. So basically you're just going to shake these guys up here. You're going to look at where they are in their growth chart. Right now these are general purpose mild vegetation, so they have 1 teaspoon green, 1 teaspoon purple, 1 teaspoon pink. And that's per gallon, which I forgot last time. So this is a 5-gallon tote right here. So we're gonna add 5 of these. 5 pinks, 5 purples, and 5 greens. We're gonna mix it all up, and then we're just gonna swap these tanks out. So basically you just take 5 teaspoons of this one, 5 teaspoons of this one, 5 teaspoons of this one. You know, first you shake up your container, you get your 5 teaspoons, you add it to the water, 5 of each of those, and that's just for the first stage of growth. It changes as you get into the aggressive vegetative growth. It starts doing, let's see, 3, well, yeah, aggressive is 3, 2, 2, and 1. So you mix it all up, and then if you're doing like I'm doing, where you're just hanging them, you just take them out of the water for a second, and you take this bucket out, you put this bucket in, and you put them back in. Now unfortunately for me, my water level wasn't exactly high enough. Now I could just add some more water in there. That's probably what I'll do. I'll just add some more water in there, because you want to make sure that your water level is real close to the plant. What I noticed is that I didn't have the water level high enough, and basically they started drying up on me. So you definitely want to make sure that's high enough. With this guy, you can see he's growing another stalk out of here. For the most part, I've just been keeping, I don't even know where this air root thing is at, but I just keep the roots in the water and the plant out of the water, and it seems to be doing okay for me. So you want your water level to be right about there. I don't know if you can really see it, but it's just basically just above the roots and just below the plant. And you want to make sure you keep an eye on all your plants, because sometimes you'll have to adjust the string. You'll have to raise it up a little bit. With this guy, for some reason I keep having to lift him up a bit. I don't know what's going on with him, whether he's getting taller or what, but just keep an eye on your roots and make sure your roots are in the water. And this is a pretty successful cracky system. You don't have to do anything. Once a week, just change out the water. If you weren't changing out the water, you'd at least want to add a little bit of water to it because of evaporation. But actually, from what Cracky says, you don't really have to do anything with it. They just grow. So that's about all there is to this. You know, keeping the fish alive, keeping your these guys have been up going for a year. I only killed one because I decided I wanted to turn the pump and the filter and the bubblers off for a week and see what would happen, and that did not go very well. And I apologize for that to anybody that was watching. We do miss Sharky. Rest in peace, Sharky. But this is all there is to it. You want to keep your fish alive, keep a clean fish tank, go get yourself a cylinder pump. The Fluval FX4 works real well with the 50-gallon tank. Get yourself a big tank. Get yourself some bubblers, one of these bubblers, and that is all there is to it. Just a once a week quarter water change out. You know, just once a week, scrub off the sides of the glass, scrub off the bottom, clean the intake filter. Once a month, turn the power off, you know, turn the in and the out valves off, turn the power, unplug it, take the lid off, take the filters out, rinse them out in some dechlorinated water, put them back in there. It's like once every 3 months you replace the charcoal filter. It's a couple of bucks. Once every, you know, I think it's like once every year, basically, you're going to replace all your filters, and you can replace the propeller motor. You can replace O-rings and all that stuff too. But the maintenance on it's real simple. Everything's pretty basic, not too hard to take care of fish, and they're a great source of NPK. If you're not using water conditioner, you know, you let your water sit out for a week, and that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to fill up these 2 tanks here, and so, you know, get a couple of tanks, small tanks, 20-gallon tanks, so that you can have those for reservoirs, so that you can fill those up with water, so that when you do the water change outs, you know, you can take the water out. You can maybe shoot it out your window or shoot it out into one of the buckets and then dump it out. But you know, then you have these full tanks here that you can just suck the water from to put it back into the fish tank. So it's real easy to use this cylinder pump to do those water change outs. And the good thing is that the bacteria stays in here. The bacteria is beneficial to change the ammonia into nitrate. The reason that you do the water change outs in here is because the fish don't like ammonia or nitrate. But if you have beneficial bacteria, it's great, because what it does is it changes the ammonia into nitrate, which you can use to feed your plants. Nitrate is the same form of nitrogen that they use in fertilizer, and there is also phosphorus and potassium that comes from the fish water as well. So you're getting a great source of NPK, perfectly good fertilizer for your plants, and you're able to put that into here, let the plant absorb the ammonia or the nitrate out, and then you can put the water right back into your fish tank, and so that will help to conserve water as well. Now, like I said, I did lose a fish trying to go without electricity. However, I first tried to do it without plants. The second go about it, I did get a bunch of plants, and I filled the tank full of plants, and I was able to keep the fish alive for a week without any problems. The only problem is that I have to manually change the water out. You still have to change the water out, unless you know, somebody has a better idea. As far as I can tell, unless my plants weren't old enough, you know, I had newer plants. Maybe I need older plants to be able to absorb as much nitrate as these guys are giving off. But as far as I could tell, it seemed like I would need to do water change outs. And you know, it's just much easier to do those water change outs with this. So I'm just going to use a hose and fill these buckets up, fill these other fish tanks up with water so that I can have those sitting there for a week, so that when hopefully I'll get the filters to replace these filters. And what I'm going to do is probably take these fish out and put them into one of these tanks, get rid of all of this water, all the water in there, replace all the filters. I may save just a little bit of this water here to add in there into the system. I don't know. Not too sure exactly how I'm going to go about doing it, but I can tell you that I am going to be getting rid of as much water as possible so that I can go back to a organic water again, so that I can start the aquaponics system going back again. You know, I've just been trying a lot of different things here, trying to go without electricity, and that didn't work, so getting back to the aquaponics system. Now the last thing I'm going to do is just fill up some totes full of water here. I'm going to fill up all these totes with water and let them sit for a week. But to be clear, I did keep the goldfish alive for over a week without a pump or filters or bubblers or anything electric. I was able to keep them alive without electricity, and it probably would have gone better if I'd have had older plants with bigger root systems. I had some baby little plants going on. But you can have a fish tank without electricity. I'm sure you've probably seen it on YouTube. It's called a planted tank. Just put plants in your fish tank. And yeah, I was able to do that. I was having to do water change outs every day though. I think that the older the plants get, the more likely it is that I could keep a planted tank without pumps, without filters, without bubblers, without any electricity, and not have to do any water change outs. But definitely going to have to, you know, take care of the plants. And so I did find these right here, which were great. They don't turn the whole fish tank red like this. So these you just put in the soil. I did find some good soil. It was like some stratum. So, you know, it is definitely doable, but for right now I'm just trying to get back to my aquaponics system. So I'm trying to get this organic water going again, and as soon as I get my filters, I'm going to change out all the water again. But hey, thanks everybody for joining me for another edition of Aquaponics World. And I will be back next week with some more fatty updates on how the aquaponics system is going. We do have some baby squash growing in a new crack key system. Got some new buds coming off of this guy. So everything's going really well. We got some new fishies, and they're all really happy. Everybody's good to go. So I really do appreciate you guys. I'm on Instagram as well. Unfortunately, they stopped monetizing me, but hopefully someday I'll get monetized on YouTube. Please hit the like, subscribe, and notification buttons. And follow me on YouTube and Instagram. Have a great day.